Hey everyone, this is Lomi, and right after I made my doll armoire, I made a bunch of hangers and filmed the process, and for some reason didn't edit the video together. Oh wait, I remember why. Yeah. Honestly, my link project is a little bit hard to follow, but here we are. Anyway, I ended up trying several different methods for making hangers for doll clothes, and I thought I'd share them here because each one works a little differently and is best for a different type of doll clothing. So you might have one you prefer, or you might like a mix of all of them. First up was the obvious and easy solution, which was just grabbing a file off Thingiverse and using my Ender 3 to 3D print it. While that was printing, I decided to try my hand at making wire hangers. This weird grid thing you see here is a wire jig, which has all different sizes of pins that can be put through the holes to shape wire. I've set this up for a simple hanger, and I use aluminum wire to make it. Basically, I just start at the top, giving myself a tail of wire I can use to finish the top with, then bend the wire around the pegs to create a simple hanger shape. This is pretty quick and easy, and if you don't have a wire jig, you can do the same thing by using pins in a cork board or nails in a piece of wood. If you want a wire jig like this, mine came from the jewelry making section of a craft store. After I cut the wire, I used some pliers to help me twist that little wire tail around the neck of the hanger to give me a sturdy piece that won't come apart. This was my first try, and it's a little lumpy, so I'll probably unwind longer pieces of wire next time. Of course, I always did a lot of wire work by hand, so I decided to see if I could get by without the jig and just use some round nose pliers to shape the wire hanger for another try. The aluminum wire is pretty soft, so it's easy to bend by hand, and I used a dowel rod I had nearby to help shape the top curve that's used for the actual hanging. I felt like this gave much cleaner and more precise results, and I liked my second try at a wire hanger a lot better. By the time I'm done making those two hangers, my printer is warmed up and getting started. I print everything with the brim because of adhesion issues, and you can see it's getting started with the shape of the hanger here. I think this is going to take a while. All I can do is leave it to print though, so for now I move on to the third option for hangers, which is using wood. I've marked this dowel rod with lines for where it should be cut and dots for where each hanger should be drilled. I use a hand saw to cut this, then use the clamp on the end of my husband's workbench to hold each piece steady for drilling. I didn't think to bring my tripod downstairs for this, so I didn't record that part, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. After the wood is cut and drilled, I cut some pieces of felt to wrap the wood. This isn't necessary to make a basic hanger, but I specifically wanted covered hangers for a few doll outfits I knew would be harder to hang. I wasn't sure what the best way to stick the felt on would be, so I tried double-sided tape first. It was a little awkward and the tape was pretty hard to see, and I did this at my sewing desk so I got thread all over the felt, and really second-guessed this at first. Especially after I realized I hadn't marked where that hole was drilled, so once the felt was on, I had to poke around with a pin to find it. Once I did, I used some brass cup hooks from the hardware store to be the hook part of the hanger, and these just twisted right into that drilled hole. Even though this was the hardest to make, I really liked the look once it was all together. When I did the next hanger, I used hot glue to put on the felt, and I used a pin to mark the hole so it was easier to find. It worked okay, but I think the double-sided tape gave a cleaner finish to the felt. Sticky felt would probably be even better, but I didn't have any on hand. If I make these again though, I'll probably pick some up. After I was done with the wooden hangers, my 3D printer was still going on that first hanger. A whole half hour and it's only halfway done. It ultimately took almost an hour, but this one is by far the cleanest and nicest of the options. That said, they are all good for different things. The 3D printed one has a little flex, and it's not the strongest of the three, but it has notches for straps, and it looks the most professional. The wire hangers are stronger and will last forever, and they're also thin enough that you can use tiny clothespins to help hold garments on them. Then the wooden ones have the felt, which helps slippery fabrics stay in place. But unlike the wire and 3D printed ones, they can't easily be used to hang pants. For most shirts and pants, the wire ones are fine, and tiny clothespins will help keep slick fabrics in place. I like the 3D printed ones for hanging pants. And the felt ones are perfect for anything heavy or slippery because of the extra friction the felt covering provides. When I started making these, I thought I'd have a favorite by the end of it, but I actually don't, and I can see how each of the different options is good for a specific use in my doll closet, so I'll probably just keep using a mix of all three. If you think one is a clear winner though, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. And that's all for today though. Thanks for watching. Bye.